Welcome to Porch Play Chats, sponsored by the American Association for the Child's Right to Play, or more affectionately titled IPA USA, which is the USA affiliate of the International Play Association. I'm Deb Lawrence, and I'm president of IPA USA. And to learn more about these Porch Play Chats, which are all free to you, go to our website, ipausa.org. Up in that top right-hand corner, be a friend on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and magically, every Monday morning, a new Porch Play Chat will appear in your feed. Joining me on the porch today is Wendy Ruiz. Wendy, hi. She's the founding director of PlayMakers Preschool. Her professional experience includes working directly with children ages 6 weeks through 5 years as a program coordinator and curriculum specialist. She trains staff and develops programs in open-ended curriculum, natural play spaces, and infant and toddler development, to name a few. In addition, as an advocate for play and a member of the National Association for the Education of Young Children, she has organized this, you're going to have to tell me what COC stands for in a minute, Week of the Young Child Play Day for over 10 years. Oh, so don't forget, have you heard about the National Day of Play on September 16th?
Yes. We have not planned for it yet, but yes.
Yes, so please plan for it. And did you know about the town hall on July 18th?
I just saw that on the Facebook page.
Yeah, so sign up for that.
Yeah.
Because we're going to try to fund 20 programs, 20 sites across the US for the first National Day of Play.
Oh, how do we get in on that?
You come to that little Zoom thing.
Awesome. I'm in.
On the 18th of July. Okay.
Wonderful.
So today, Wendy just had this most amazing experience in her program, which got us on the topic for today is why we don't celebrate holidays in early childhood programs.
More the topic of how we celebrate holidays.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not that we don't. We help that with families. It's not that we don't. We just celebrate them in a more universal or
culturally appropriate
way. Yeah, that's
inclusive way.
Inclusive for sure. Yeah, we've, through the years, I mean, it's something that we've been doing for several years, but it seems like more and more it's needed lately, but we've been doing it for a long time, even when I worked for Bright Horizons, where we noticed that our families are so diverse, families are so unique. And even like on our family boards, we're noticing, right, that we try and explain to parents that bring us a picture of who's your family, because families, everything. It could be neighbors, it could be aunts and uncles, of course, right, grandparents, best friends,
dogs, cats.
Yeah. So and so we've kind of moved away from having like a muffins for moms or a donuts for dad's day, and instead we do a someone who loves me day, and we try to do it right in between the two. This one got pushed a little bit later with other things going on, but it was such a beautiful day. And so when parents asked what it was, we did explain that we honor moms, we honor dads, but we also honor everyone else who loves your children too, including us. And so they loved it. And we had like some aunts and uncles came, we had grandparents came, we had one family, they had like 6 people come. It was great. We had cousins come, so just such a beautiful day. And we had a brunch, and it was potluck. So the parents all donated, my director did a sign up Genie, and they brought like eggs and bacon, and we made pancakes in the office. And it was just, and then they got to eat with their children and eat with the teachers. And it was just, really a beautiful day.
And so, and you said they were lined up out the door. You had like 100 people show up.
Yeah, at least. It was wonderful. Cool. We had this huge line, and we only did it for an hour. So it's just 9 to 10. So right at like drop off. So we also try to, when we do events, try to make it inclusive for parents' work schedules, because especially our clientele are working families. That's why their children are here. So we either do evening events, which we've done before, or we'll do right at the beginning of the day events. Nothing too long, so that maybe they could just come in a little bit late to work and not be too much of an impact on them. So we try to take that into consideration as well. But then if they can't make it, they could send, because it's someone who loves me, they could send grandma or an aunt and uncle or something, right? So we really try to do it as close to we can to meeting everybody's needs, which we can't meet everyone's all the time. We know that, but just a few weeks ago, we had a park day after the center. So they picked up their children from school and then we drove to the park and we had it was actually our like graduation kind of day. And that was beautiful too. So we're trying to like really find ways to honor our families without singling anyone out.
Well,
Holidays can
I
do.
think so many things that you said are so important, that you plan the events either when families are dropping off or just after they pick up, right? So that it's seamless. They don't have, I mean, I have to tell you, the second I go home and kick off my shoes, I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
And so if you are expecting them to go home and then come back 30 minutes later, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
They're exhausted.
Right.
The other thing I think that's really important is, you know, and if the events need to be a little longer, like maybe parents start picking up at 2:30, maybe it goes 2:30 to 6.
Sure, we've done that before.
Doing, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. We always, as fundraisers, we had pizza to go and spaghetti so that they had their meal ready and all they had to do. And it was some nominal charge that we made $1 or $2 on each one, but boy, parents loved it because they could come, they could talk to the teacher, they could visit with their teacher, and then they could take their dinner home. They didn't have to worry about going home and getting it all figured out. So those kinds of thoughtful ways to do parent activities are really important. The other thing that I think is important is every family looks different. And some children may have lost a parent. And so Mother's Day and Father's Day only, you know, that's already a hard enough anniversary versus saying that, oh, we're going to do a Mother's Day event, but what if I don't have a mom? Or what if I don't have a dad? So that kind of someone who loves me day is beautiful and a beautiful way to celebrate. How else do you incorporate holidays that are culturally appropriate? And the other thing I want to say to people is I'm white. I don't know, Wendy, are you white or Hispanic? I don't know. White. Okay. So I bet the way Wendy celebrates a general holiday, we may celebrate the same holiday, but how we celebrate it is different. Absolutely. Right? And so when a teacher says, this is the way we're going to celebrate this holiday, they're putting their own culture onto other people instead of embracing everyone's culture and making it more appropriate. So
so we have the facilitators, we call them facilitators, our teachers, reach out to the families when it comes to holiday season and say, how would you like to celebrate the holidays this season? What would you like to bring to the classroom? What would you like to share? And so we've had families come and celebrate and teach us how they celebrate Kwanzaa or Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever the holiday is. And it's just such a beautiful experience. They'll come and do a group time with us, or they'll come and do a cooking project with us, or teach them some songs, you know, but it comes from them versus us saying, oh, we're going to do Christmas. And, you know, when it doesn't,
we're doing it.
And even if, and it doesn't even necessarily pertain to them. Right. So we really put it back on the families and say, this is your classroom. So what would you like to, how would you like to come? And so the last time in one of our preschool rooms, our parents were so excited that they were included. And so they came and they read books to us and they did activities with them, and much different than if we had, there's no way we could do that. You know, we couldn't capture their holiday the way they do it. It's just not.
And I think what's so beautiful about that is that the children in the classroom who may celebrate one holiday are learning about other holidays that other children in the classroom celebrate. And so sometimes, again, we go back to what's meaningful and relevant to the child's daily experience. If those children are in their classroom, those are the cultures, ethnicities, celebrations that we should be focused on in that classroom. And there may be totally different ones in another classroom, because it needs to be relevant and meaningful to those children's daily experiences. And so inviting families to come in is a wonderful way
And it's
to,
different for every age group, right?
Yeah.
Like our infants and toddlers, they're not talking about it in their classrooms, right? So why go there? But our preschoolers are. So if they're asking questions, if they're talking about it, then we foster it. But infants and toddlers, they don't understand, right? So they just still want to be loved and cared the same way every day.
every
So
single
we
day.
keep going. So
Well,
it looks different in every classroom.
The other thing I always raise to teachers is, and I'm just going to take Halloween, which I don't know why anybody celebrates Halloween in a classroom. And that's just me, because how many costume parts get lost? How many parents are unhappy? And the kids are crazy,
Yeah.
right? They're crazy. I mean, I
Yeah.
want you to think back to some of your worst days, and they're going to be around Valentine's Day and Halloween, right?
Yes.
When the kids are crazy because they're out of routine. Some of them, it's disrespectful because they don't even celebrate that.
Right.
And sometimes there's a religious piece in there where nobody celebrates anything. And again,
Exactly.
if you make it meaningful and appropriate, that's accepting of everybody, instead of saying, well, that all the children they shouldn't not be able to celebrate their holiday. That's why you put it back into the family, because that's where holidays belong.
Right.
Holidays belong in the family. Families want to share challah bread, or the dreidel song, or something that they do that is special for that holiday. Then that's appropriate in the classroom, because you're not doing it. We're not saying this is how we're celebrating. It's coming from the children in the classroom and their families who want to share. And that's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So
So much more meaningful.
yeah. So what
So
else
we're
can you
trying to-
teach us
Right.
about holidays and what we need to think about?
So really, I mean, we always, when we make any decision in our program, it's a children first, right? So I think it's important to look at it that way too. So when we're doing, whether it's holidays or traditions, or it's going back to the children and what are they getting out of this, and what are they talking about, and what are they going to connect with? Because if we make it our agenda, which sometimes teachers do, right? Then we've lost that child first language, or child first philosophy. So it's just always going back to, I love that sometimes teachers will come and say, I really want to do this that I saw on Pinterest, or I really want to do this fun, okay, that's what you want to do, but now we've kind of lost the children, right?
And what are they interested in exploring more about? It could be that it is, I'm just thinking back to when I was a preschool teacher, and children were going on vacation. Not all children, but some children. And so one of the ways I included the families in that was I asked them to get 2 or 3 postcards. And back then they were like 5 cents each, right? Get 2 or 3 postcards from where you're going. And if you would bring those into the classroom, and those became part of the dream basket, that children would pick a postcard out of the dream basket, and that's what they held when they went to sleep. And of course we rubbed backs and rubbed heads and did all that stuff too. But the dream basket gave them something to dream about, right? And that was the concept. And so the postcards were changed regularly, because I had tons of postcards. But the children then would talk about, oh, today, remember when Sarah went to the lake and she was swimming in the lake, and she talked, that's what I dreamed about today. And I'd say, oh, what did you do while you were dreaming at the lake? And so it was this wonderful way of including families without driving the agenda.
Yes.
Anything else we can do that makes it meaningful and relevant to children in that way?
Like you mentioned Valentine's Day. So I know something some of our classes do is they talk about love, right? We talk about things that they're going to experience, see, feel, hear. So they are going to see a lot of hearts around in the community and talk about love and what does love mean to them. And so we usually do use that time to have them write letters and then put them in the mail and send them to their family so they get them at home. So of course they love to get mail, right?
Right.
And so they walk over to the post office or the mailbox and drop them in. And so we kind of use that as, again, another meaningful way to connect with their families, but not put it onto this Saint Day.
Not do the Valentine Day sort of thing, right?
And we've also done kind of like another kind of someone who loves me day around that too.
Mhm.
So where it is about love. And so you want to come, and it's about friendship, and it's about, that's the take we put on it, right? And we ask the children too, like, what does it mean to you when you hear this holiday? What does that mean to you? And most of them are friends or hearts. Okay, well, hearts, what does hearts mean to you? So we're always putting it back on them and asking them to kind of pull it out. And then we say, well, what's something we can do to people we love? Or, so that's when we get into the writing letters or mailing them. But I'm telling you, gosh, when they get letters in the mail, they are just, they run in the next day and they're like, look what I got. Look what I got. Even though they wrote it themselves.
But they got it. They got something. They see their parents all the time, but they don't get much.
Exactly. So it's just different things like that. Something that one of my other teachers does, which I love, is when it's a child's birthday, she invites the child to donate a book to the classroom. Mm-hmm. And so, which is so fun. And so then the child is so proud and said, this is my book. And, and even though we're giving to them, but they're also giving to us, right? We talk about how the value of giving, and the gifts are not just great to receive, but also to give, right? And so, and the parents love it. And so they put a message in it in the book from them. So then we have this collection of children's books that are from the children in that classroom, which is such a fun.
That beautiful?
Yeah, it really was so cool.
And so Wendy has given us a lot of things to think about, right? And if you are really bent on celebrating holidays, how to do it in a more culturally appropriate, respectful way, and to do it not on your agenda, but on the family's interests and the children's interests.
Yeah, as long as it comes from the families and the children, because I will admit our families do love Halloween. And they ask us to do a parade, and it's kind of become a thing that we do. So the children do come in their costumes. They do they walk around the school and see everyone's costumes, and then they either take them off or they know that they're going to get mud on them, So as long as the parents understand that and the children understand that, and it just becomes a little thing. It's quick. It's a little like, or we'll do, some children come in their pajamas because that's what they prefer. It's up to them. But we have had a lot of parents reach out and say, we just want to do a parade or
I know, because Halloween was a big thing in their lives when they were
right. So we try to kind of balance it.
Yeah, you have to kind of balance it.
Yeah.
One of the things that was so funny to us is we had an exchange student from Spain, and he came around Halloween, and he said, you go to strangers' houses and they give you candy. And we said, yeah. He said, yes. Why would you do that? It's just so funny. And then, he said, I was taught to never take candy from a stranger. And I said, yep. We say the same thing here. And he was like, I don't understand.
Yep. There's a lot of things we don't understand.
You got to see it through a totally different lens. So we tell children not to take candy from
strangers. Like nowadays, goodness, go knock on someone's door and
do trick or treat, and people are going to give you candy.
Right.
So anyway, that was
I totally get it. We don't do the candy part, but we do. They do walk around, because that's what they're talking. I mean, for weeks they're talking about their costumes.
I know.
And they can't wait to wear them. And so again, it's going back to them.
Right.
We understand that we do have to balance it, that especially, and it might change year to year, but we do balance it based off of our parents, what they're asking for, what the children are asking for, as long as but we keep it appropriate within our own beliefs. We're still not going to change our core values because of it, but we'll find a way to balance it. Right. So
it was so funny one year. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, it's time for a nap for me. I don't know about you guys, but it's time for a nap. one of the years when I was teaching preschool, the children were saying, what are you going to be for Halloween? What are you going to be for Halloween? What are you going to be? And I said, oh, how many of you celebrate Halloween? And so children raised their hands. And I said, who can tell me what Halloween is? And
Right.
so they said, oh, I'll tell you. And so we had all the, because there were like 8 kids that didn't raise their hand. And I said, so Halloween's one of those holidays that some people celebrate and some people don't. And so why don't you say what you do on Halloween? And so then the children would talk about what they did on Halloween. And that was it. We didn't do anything else. But whenever they wanted to talk about costumes, I'll say, oh, never mind. I remember you said you were going to be this for Halloween. How many of you celebrate Halloween? Who
Yeah.
doesn't celebrate Halloween? It's just one of those holidays that's out there. And it was, and the kids were like, great, I got to talk about my costume. I'm ready to move on.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
and so we didn't have to do a Halloween party
That's
or a
awesome.
Halloween parade, which was lovely. Parents would say, are we doing a Halloween parade? And I said, no. I don't want to lose
Yeah.
costume pieces and have children be upset. And they say, oh, okay.
Right?
Oh, that sounds good. I don't
Yeah.
want kids to be upset. But there's a way to allow them to talk about their interests without having to do it for everybody, right? So
Exactly.
I think there's a balance. You're
I
right.
love
There's a
that.
balance.
Yeah, I love that. Still
They're
giving them a chance to get it to share their stories and their interests, but not.
Yeah.
But that's really all they want to do. They
That's
just once they're heard, then they're good.
free.
It's the adults that add it and make it so much bigger.
Yeah, yeah, and it makes your life miserable, by the way, people. So please think about that. So,
Yes.
okay, Wendy, this has been amazing as always. So stay there while I close this out. So
Okay.
to learn more about IPA USA, please visit our website at ipausa.org. And until next time, keep on playing.